with Whitebeard's kitchen again. It's absolutely freezing outside, so I have a good casserole cooking for the folks at home. I am going to do a curry of my own, rather than choose a particular Indian one. I'll be using a lot of spices I use in the Indian curries, but this is my own, and it's only for myself. So let's get cooking. It'll going to be a while, and hopefully with some of the spice it'll warm me up. Here we are at the stove top. What I have in this small little pan is roughly about a teaspoon of Fennel Seeds and a teaspoon of Cumin Seeds. So I'm just going to toast these. I have to be honest, toasting the whole spices and grinding them is a lot better than the powders. So I'm just going to heat these up until I smell kind of the aroma of them. I'm going to be honest, I nipped to the loo earlier and put these on and burnt the first lot. So here we are, second time round. I'm not going to leave them. So just on a low heat, probably about a minute or so, just as I say, get the smell off them, give them a little bit of a mix round. I know this pot is really, or pan I should say, is really warm. So I can smell already the aroma coming from the Fennel Seeds and the Cumin Seeds here. So just give them a little whirl round. This is hot, but my hands are that cold I can hardly feel the heat. That's those. You hear that little crack? That's the pan. I don't want to do these anymore. That's then toasted. In we go. Well, I may as well show you. I've had a rather frustrating day, so in we go with these. You don't really need to bash them. Just roll your mortar around your little pestle, whatever. Mortar and pestle, good God, or pestle and mortar. God, I can nearly speak. I've had a rather frustrating day at work. Not with really anybody at work. Just the internet where I live can be a friggin' nuisance. So, good way to take your temper out on something. That's those ground. And the smell, I do have to be honest, it's a lot better than the powdered versions of these spices when you have the whole seeds or whatever. There we are. That's a temper, that's a tension released, and good for the old arm muscles as well. So here we are, folks. What I have in here, I have just heated 3 tablespoonfuls of vegetable oil. I have my onions in, sliced, not overly fine. It's on a medium to high heat, so just fry them to get them a nice golden colour. This is kind of, as I say, my own version of a curry. No doubt not that different. In some instances, probably, from some curries that I've already had on my little channel, which isn't started that long, and for curries which I will look to do in the future. So I don't want these burning, so I'll just keep stirring them a little bit round. And I'll be back very shortly to show you what they're like. And I've just thrown in a little bit, about half a teaspoon of salt, just to bring them along. So the onions are kind of translucent, just to want them to catch. I should have added in, goodness gracious, my cassia bark, just a couple of wee pieces. There are a few wee cracked pieces at the end of my little pot. I'm going to add in 3 green cardamom pods I have cracked. Hook the little seeds up, put those in, and a large bay leaf which is just snapped in two. Turn this down a little bit. I'm going to add a slight taste of water. See, some of the onions getting a little bit browner than what I would expect. So I'll put that cap nearby, some boiling water. That'll not be too long and evaporating off. Just stir that around for about 30 seconds to a minute, just to release the flavours of the cassia bark or cinnamon stick, the bay leaf, and the 3 green cardamom pods. So next I have going in is 1 reasonably sized tomato, the last fresh one in the house. Folks, in the good old UK and Northern Ireland where I'm from, tomatoes are like probably dearer than bloody gold at the moment. Well, so they keep telling us there's a shortage of tomatoes and the likes of bell peppers, as we call them in the United States. We just call them red, green, orange, or whatever colour of pepper they are. Capsicum, I think maybe in Australia. But you don't have these fucking problems that we have, you know. Good God, scarcity in tomatoes. What next? Anyway, so just add another tiny wee splash of water. Turn this on to a high heat. Get my lid on behind me. Let that do for about 5 minutes or so. I'll come back, check it. The tomatoes have softened down. I've just added another wee splash of water. I'm going to add in my beef. I probably have here, I'm going to say about 150, 175 grams, in and around that or so. It is for me. I was generous with the people at home and give them a bit more than my good self. Just want to brown that up. I could add my garlic and ginger in at this point. I'll add it in very shortly, but I'm going to keep this just on a high heat at the moment. Keep a wee eye on it. I'll be back maybe, or let this go for about 10 minutes, and then I'll add the garlic and ginger in. 10 minutes, roughly up. Now what I'm going to do is fry up the beef a bit. Just let some of this excess liquid that's come out of the beef evaporate. Keep the lid off for a little while, stir things about. Kind of want to make this like in the abuna type at the beginning anyhow. I have some base gravy. I'm not sure whether I'll add it. You know, I'll wait and see how I feel. Will take a bit of a while for this beef to do. Good old cheap beef pieces, folks. None of your sirloins or that sort of stuff for this. For me, sometimes the cheaper the cut's better. I certainly like it for the likes of casseroles and slow cooking recipes. I could do this by putting everything in rather than on the stove top. I could put this into the oven once I add all the spices and the rest of the stuff and let it cook away. An easy method, and the method I sometimes do when I don't want to stand and cook. But I need a bit of stress relief. And this is my stress relief, this little channel, and I hope it's useful to people that watch it. It is really about home cooking. Yeah, I know I have some spices. They're easily accessible off the internet. And if you do by chance have like an Indian, Asian grocery store, please do check them out. I know it might look expensive buying those things in larger packets, but in the long run, compared to the supermarkets, goodness gracious, the savings are phenomenal. I mean, I have coriander powder here. I probably bought about 1.5 kilograms, and I probably bought that for about £6. Well, go £6-7. Go to your local supermarket, get the small jars, and you maybe get only about, goodness gracious, I mean, if you get 50 grams, you're lucky, and you're going to be paying an exorbitant price. Absolutely ridiculous. Just going to add a tiny splash of water. I'm going to put in my, I have a load of garlic, so I'm going to say probably about near 2 tablespoons. I know, you probably should use this for about 1 kilogram of beef. So I have about 2 tablespoons and about a tablespoon of ginger. Fry those round just a little bit. Have them on a medium to low heat. As you can see, very little liquid. I don't want them to burn either. Just a little recap of my spices that I've added in. The 2 teaspoons of ordinary chili powder, 1.5 teaspoons of my Kashmiri, roughly about 1.5 teaspoons of coriander powder, 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric powder, all in this wonderful little dish. And those ground spices that I had earlier, which was a teaspoon of cumin seed and a teaspoon of fennel seed, I am now going to add to this also. So, scrape it out, get it all in, smell of those, toasted whole seeds of cumin and fennel ground. The smell is absolutely beautiful. So this is my own little invention of a curry. See, it's quite thick. That's obviously with the tomato that I added in earlier. Okay, so scrape around the edges. Another splash of water. Up to now, I'm probably going to say I've added in maybe about a cup of water. So I'm going to keep that to a medium high. Let this do at least for maybe 40 minutes or more. I'll be back to stir it from time to time. I'll probably need to add more bits of water from time to time. So lid on, and the smell of this is amazing. So here we are, folks. This is probably about 10-15 minutes. It's been cooking away. You'll see that quite a lot of the liquid is starting to absorb. The smell really, it's astounding. I know this is going to be slightly spicy. It's not going to be like vindaloo. It's probably going to be kind of, but it's not a madras. It isn't the same mix as a madras. It might be round about that heat level. So what I'm going to do is just add another wee taste of boiling water, put the lid back on. You know, just keep topping up with water. That's a wee bit more I've added in than you've seen normally. But because I have this on a medium to high heat, it is evaporating quite quickly. Just stir around the edges on that. So lid back on. I'll come back to it, as I say, I'll come back to it every 10 minutes. The odd time I'll show you how it's doing. Well folks, thought I'd let you see how this is doing. I'm going to add probably about another half a cup of water in. Give it a stir. And I did taste this. I take that back about what I said it wouldn't be at madras level. It definitely is. Right folks, this is really thick now, so I'm going to add more water in because the beef is not cooked. And I have behind me Amy, who's on a vegetarian diet. Good God. Never. I'm here chopping up her veg, God help her. If she was to offer me that, I'd think it was a bunny rabbit. I'm going to have big ears. Okay, so in more, another drop of water. Really hard to measure this because to tell you what the amount of water that I'm adding periodically, I'm going to say that's probably at least another half a cup. It really depends on the beef. And I don't want my beef to be chewy like a boot or like the sole of a shoe. So lid back on. Again, I'm going to turn this to slightly heading towards the higher side of things, but not overly high either. So medium to high, more on the air of high. Right folks, this is thickened up again. So more water. My beef. I probably should have done this from about 4 o'clock today rather than starting at 7. Maybe if I could eat them for 12 tonight, I'll be lucky. But anyway, more water in, bit of a stir, and it is rather spicy, as I'd said, spicier than I thought it was going to be. But there we are. That was me being overdoing it with the chili powder. So rather than 2 teaspoons, I probably should have had just the 1, because I think I put in a teaspoon and a half as well of Kashmiri chili powder, which isn't as spicy. But then I forgot, hey ho, that in my little mix that I toasted, I had cumin, a teaspoon of it. So, lesson learned, but I will eat it, because I do like my spicy food. But certainly it's madras level at least, but it isn't a madras. Adjust it if you want to try it yourself. Add in as little chili as you like. Obviously you want a bit of a taste, a bit of a kick, or as much as you like. If I wanted to go to vindaloo level for one person, I'd have probably put in about 4 teaspoons of extra hot chili powder. This was just your average chili powder. Anyway, lid on again. Good God. And other people want to wait on me. They want to have their casserole later. Good luck. They'll probably be having it for breakfast tomorrow. Well folks, we're still here. I'm waiting on the beef. Booking becoming soft. I probably, as I say, should have put this on probably lunchtime today. I said 4 o'clock, probably about 12 noon. But however, it absolutely smells divine. It is spicy. I would dread to have thought, had I put extra hot chili powder, and I was thinking about that. Anyhow, still cooking away. I've just been adding water to it because the lid doesn't exactly fit the pot properly. It's a different lid for this particular pot, but I can't see the darn thing, so it's all obviously for to show yourselves. So it's bubbling away. I mean, if the meat was cooked, the curry definitely is. You can see the redness, maybe just of the oil, wee bits here, and that's how you know that your curry is done. But it can cook away. So folks, still cooking away, and you hear a dog in the fucking background. Well, this is Amy's dog Nala. She's a German Shepherd. I don't know what the fuck she's barking at. It's completely dark. This is really, I near burnt the back end out of this. Lucky enough, I just caught it in time. It doesn't taste burnt, thank goodness. So I'm going to add more water. It's taken ages for the beef. It is a very cheap cut. Probably would have been better doing this maybe in the oven, but hey ho, I wanted to show you on the stove top. So I'm going to add a taste more water and just let it cook away. And I should say, I know you think, yeah, I've been using a lot of water. It's just to cook the beef. It's not taking anything away from the spice, so don't worry about that. You know, you can use better cuts of beef if you wish. Probably take less time. But hey ho, you know, you use what you've got floating about the house. It probably is more like a casserole beef, to be fair, or something I would use, say, to do a base for it, or cook for to use for if I was cooking a really nice meat pie. Do check my Guinness pie out that I made. I'll maybe do that here for St. Patrick's Day, which is coming up this Friday, the 17th. A big day in Ireland, and I think even throughout the world, I think everybody wants to turn Irish that day. So yeah, that could be on the recipe. So do check that out on my channel. Add another taste of water in. Goodness gracious, it doesn't take long evaporating, believe you me. As I say, I have this on medium to high, nearer the high. So let it cook away. So folks, back very quickly. I went to the fridge and I found that I have a base gravy. I'm going to add a taste of this base gravy into this. Just the base gravy that you've seen me use, and I've made this. Please do check my channel for that and how to make a base gravy. It will just add a tiny bit more flavour to this. Not a lot, because the base gravy is just for quickness sake when you're doing a curry. But I'm going to add this. So I've added a couple of ladles in. That's all I'm going to do. I want to keep the remainder for tomorrow night. And because, I'll say it again, there's no fucking tomatoes in the UK, or there's a shortage allegedly, I really can't do a base gravy. And peppers, you know, you only add a bit in, or extortion at the moment. So I'm going to turn this up, let it bubble away. Here we are. Folks, this is near coming to, at last, the final conclusion. I tasted a piece of the beef. It's spot on. It's just nice. This will cook probably for another 15 minutes or so. So I'm just adding a tiny taste, just about half of a capsicum, red pepper, bell pepper, a couple of small green chilli that I've just finely chopped. I'm just going to add to this 1/4 teaspoon, good pinch of garam masala. And please do remember, I only use the base gravy that I found. I normally wouldn't. Please don't think that you have to have a base gravy if you want to try this recipe out. What I'm going to do now is small pinch of kasuri methi or fenugreek leaves, just in between my hands. And I mean, it is literally a pinch, just to more or less finish this off. I'll just put the lid back on, let it bubble, and I'll show you when it's ready and all being well on a plate. Right, well here we are folks, at long last, my beef curry. This is my own little recipe. Do try this if you like. It is quite spicy, but that's the way I like things. Hey ho. Good God. Spicy, lovely, but just that is absolutely boiling hot. So excuse me as I spit my food out. That's better. I can taste the spices from the outside. Absolutely wonderful. Do try it out. It's not as spicy as I thought it was. Don't worry about the base gravy. I just found that you don't need it. Could have just kept adding water. So yeah, give this a try. This is Whitebeard's own recipe. And my camera lady is now doing a dance behind the camera for me, my little wifey. So there we are. See you soon. Rock on. Try it out. Enjoy. Blow your socks off. See you soon.